Hey guys, how's it going? Dragonstart here. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to tower rush and why I think it's actually making a comeback in the current meta. A few games I've played and I realized that if your opponent is not going for militia or mana towns, like a rush or mana town rush, a tower rush is actually a very viable strategy for those situations where you can kind of predict that your opponent is not going for militia. In terms of the build order, it's pretty straightforward. You go up as fast as you can. Going for a deer map would be preferable. If you have a chicken map, I would recommend just going up one population up later, but the timing might be slightly off. So to be on the safe side, I recommend only doing tower rush when you have a deer map in situations where your opponent is not going for militia for the matchup. So let's go for something like Teutons, because Teuton is going to have extra garrison capacity in their tower, so it's also a very nice choice for going for a civilization to pick to going for tower rush. Some other civs that I can recommend when going for a tower rush is something like Inca, something like Koreans, Mongols, Georgians. Any civ that can go up really quickly to the next stage has definitely a potential to tower rush Malay and stuff, Italians even. You can technically do it with every civ in the game, but there are certain civilizations which are a little bit more beneficial to do this with. So that's gonna be the game plan for us. We are tower rushing. Teutons is like a standard serve, not that many economy bonuses other than just being able to garrison more villagers. Starting off with the game, we are going to look for our boar immediately after taking one sheep so that we can have as much hunt under RTC as fast as possible. Have sheeps for later to make it more efficient for collection. We already found our boar, time to find our sheeps. Found my deer, but we are going to look for our sheeps before we push those deers. Found two pair, found my last four. Now we just look for our stone, which is in the back. It's next to a woodline, so it can be very easy to protect with one tower if there is a need for it. I would be recommending to make a defensive tower if you are worried about any counter attacks in your base. So the build order is 8 on food, 2 on wood, rest of them on food until you have enough food to click up to the next stage. It's like the archer build order, but we're doing on stone instead of gold. This can also be one of the more popular build orders for a flank in team games. I might post an example video on it where it like just destroys someone on the flank, because I think tower rushing on team game might be even stronger than 1v1. And I actually believe that because of how like almost no one goes for militia rushing in team games. Everyone is playing archers. Going for a tower rush on flank can absolutely just punish someone going for straight archers. If you time it correctly, of course. Oh, the deer went back. It's okay. 2 on board. That's all you need. Now we just make a house and then we make a mining camp when we have the wood. That villager can come back to food. And after I push the deer, I'll go scout for my opponent. I cannot be hanging out in my base for too long, so I have to just push my deer as fast as possible and scout my opponent. For you to be able to tower rush, you have to have very good scouting. So all the previous instructions on how to find your opponent and how to find all your resources at the same time should be ingrained into your repertoire by now. And if you're still struggling with that part of the game, I would not recommend tower rushing. Already finished pushing my deer. Last 2 villages go to stone. And the amount of villages you send forward will depend on your civilization. With Teutons, you can afford to send 7 villagers. And with other civilizations, you can go for something like 6 or 5 villages, depending on your uptime. With Mongols and Georgians, something which is very fast, which can go up really fast, like 17 population instead of 18. I recommend going for 5 villages in the front. But with other serves, which go for 18, go for 6 villages forward. But since Teuton can garrison more, I like sending 7 villages forward. So the distribution for resources is 2 on stone, 4 on wood, and 4 on sheep. We still have a bunch of sheep remaining. That's why we took the hunt first, so that I can have that available. So the way we start tower rushing someone is you want to deny at least 2 resources at the same time, if you can. So 5 villages will be split into a direction where I can attack this wood line, and 2 of these villages will attack the berry bushes. Of course, if your opponent is spotting you and sending villages to stop you from making the tower in the first place, you can be in trouble. So make sure your scouting is on point and you avoid him tracking your movement. I can make a tower behind that wood line if I can, or I can position my villages to make 1 tower here and a 2nd tower here and a 3rd tower there, just a creep. New villages will go to stone so that I can make more towers. I want to also make a tower here, just out of his reach. Start walling in the tower before he bum rushes it. A lot of players like to just bum rush your towers whenever they get the opportunity. Even the AI is going to be capable of doing that. So we have to make sure our tower is walled in. Making a couple of palisades around the villagers is definitely the easiest way of doing this. Making sure. I want that 5 to 6 on stone so that I can continue making more towers. I mean, the AI is not the best opponent to showcase this because tower rushing an AI opponent kinda bugs it out. But you guys understand the whole aspect of this. So now I want 1 less than I have sent forward. So for 7 villages, I will have 7 on stone. New villages will stay over here. And now we start making towers and chaining them together so that 1 tower protects the base of the other tower. And of course, don't forget to wall them in so that he can't bomb rush this. And you continue chaining the towers. And securing your base is also important. So just making walls like that. Gonna go on berries. I would need 2 towers actually to protect myself. If I know that my opponent is going to counter attack rather than dealing with the towers, I will make a defensive tower on my berries right now and then make a defensive tower on my stone before I continue tower rushing my opponent. If I am not afraid of any counter attacks, I will continue making towers in his base. So let's go for a little bit more defensive approach. I'm just going to try to use these villages to deny as many resources as possible while I'm waiting to get enough stone for a defensive tower. I was a little bit late on the berries, but it's okay. Idling this much is completely fine as long as you're able to continue denying his resources at the same time. Keep your scout active, check to see what he's up to. The one thing I kind of forgot is you need fletching whenever you know your opponent wants to get into a tower war against you. That is definitely something you have to be watching out for, because if they make a defensive tower to stop your creep, you want to have to make a tower next to their tower so that you can range the tower with fletching and kill the repair villages.
Make 3 houses.
Oops. Got housed, but it's not the biggest deal. You can always just put villagers to repair if the bomb rushes. 2 to 3 villagers just to constantly repair should be able to stop them from taking the tower down. And get fletching whenever you can afford it, of course. Having more food in certain generations will allow you to get fletching even faster than what I am able to do. But I'm slowly building up my food economy. Like something like this tower, I can just make it in the range of this tower, and with fletching, which I'm going to have in a sec, I'm gonna be able to deny any repair villages from repairing that tower. Yeah, I mean, now we slowly build up to go to Castle Age. Add more villagers to stone if you want to continue chaining more towers constantly. But for constant tower production, you just want one less than what you have sent forward. So if you have sent 5 villages forward, you want 5 or 4 on stone, just so that you can have the other resources coming in on time as well. I'll get the wood upgrade. Wood upgrade is something you can skip for quite a while when you're tower rushing. Of course, again, depending on the civilization, you might be able to afford it much faster than I'm able to. And the situation and the amount of resources you're actually actively collecting. So, you see, like, you'll win every single tower over when you're playing Teutons. And chain the towers to completely deny any resources from your opponent. But that's the build order part of the game. We slowly build up our food bank to go up to Castle Age, where you can switch to knights, you can continue making towers to go for a guard tower push. And I mean, the AI is resigning a little bit too early, but you can see if you do it successfully, the first part of the build order always revolves around you denying almost 2 resources at the same time. I can chain my first tower to deny the second resource, but you have to be able to potentially deny 2 resources. If you only care about denying 1 resources, they might be able to escape and not take enough damage. That's the whole point of the build, where I have set up myself to defend myself and attack with the towers at the same time. Him trying to bomb rush any of these towers would make him lose a lot of villages. That's the whole point of this. And we slowly make more defensive towers, send more villagers to stone, maybe secure my second stone so that I can continue making even more towers, and then make a defensive tower on my gold, mine gold, make a market, go up to the next stage, make knights, make guard towers, play a normal game from that point onwards. You can technically play a normal game depending on what your opponent is doing, and I'll showcase a couple of example games now. Okay. Here we have the game. I'm playing Teutons against Scotty, who is like a 2300, 2400 player from America. And we were just playing a lobby game where I did not tell him what we were going to do. This was just a random civilization matchup. We ended up playing against each other. So I figured out that Gurjaras ideally almost never goes for any militia rushing. Like I've not seen it for a very long time. I've tried to do it a couple of times myself. It does catch a couple of people off guard, but it's not something you'd like to do with Gurjaras in the first place. So now we are going to open with the tower rush. The build order remains the same: 2 on wood, rest on food. Last 2 villages make a mining camp on stone. And we want to try to deny at least 2 resources at the same time. That's the whole point of the build order. He ideally does not scout us, and we do a very good job at denying resources from him. I go up at 18 pop. Only 1 villager because I had 1 extra deer. 4 on wood, and I sent 7 villagers forward. There goes the second villager on stone. 4 on food, and now I'm going to scout to see what I can scout. I'll slow the game down for a little bit, and I go from my point of view, see what I see. So I want to deny the berries, and I also want to deny the wood. I already positioned 5 of these villages to make a tower immediately on this wood line, and I also want to deny the berries. So this tower is going up. He should see it. Barracks has enough vision to showcase that this is happening, so he's aware of this part of the tower rush. So he positions his villages on this wood line, and that is where I catch him, because I can wall the villagers in by making a stone wall in front. Just distracting him, making him chase me around. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. Where was I? Yeah, so like the second tower is basically what kills your opponents. Now he sees me. Well, what I'm going to try to do is just wall it out. Also, I find a villager making an archery range there. And 2 of his lumber camps are wasted right now, and his mill. So this is almost 300 worth of wood that I made him waste because he is not able to collect from any of these resources. And I'm just gonna try to continue chaining these towers behind all of this. How many villages do I have on stone? I have 5 villages on stone, so I want 1 more. There's the 6th villager. Waiting for the next tower. I'm slowly creeping the towers in. With Gurjaras, he's trying to eject his sheep so that he can collect those sheep and try to go up to the next stage or something. He's gonna make a defensive tower. Now we're in a tower war against Teutons, and I'm seeing that he's not able to collect any of the stones. So as long as I can force him into a tower war, I'm in a very good spot. And since we're going for a tower war and I saw him playing archers, I'm gonna make a defensive tower and get fletching at the same time. I'm overloading those stones so that I can continue making more towers. And slowly but surely we're gonna end up winning the tower war. Also sending 3 more villages so that I can fully garrison my tower. This is something with Teutons specifically that you can do. Also, another thing that I did, instead of going to the berries, I snuck these villages to the extra deers on the map which I was able to scout. So that worked out very nicely for me. And I'm also constructing a 2nd tower just in range of my 1st tower, because with fletching and town watch, I should be able to range the villager behind the tower because of it. Now we are going to kill that tower because he's not going to have the stone to make defensive towers, and now have 10 villages in the front. I wanted to make a defensive tower on my berries so that I can take them after I'm done with the hunt, but it looks like he had the archers over there just to stop me in time. He's going to try to stop these towers from going up by using his archers, but I can just retreat to the tower behind and continue pushing in this direction. So this is like the tower creep I was talking about. You can continue denying him lots of resources. These 2 farms are gone, which means, and this lumber camp, I have denied him 400 worth of wood plus 120, so that's like 520 wood basically gone. And I'm gonna continue denying more resources. Like, I just calculated based on the amount of stuff I'm denying. I'm making him waste almost close to 520, even more now, wood. So the calculation over here is he's ahead by only 200 resources, but I have map control and he can't really stop me from doing this. And any tower war we get into, I'm going to end up winning because I have more garrison capacity. He's gonna try to bomb rush these towers, but decides against it because he's gonna end up losing too many villagers. And I've completely surrounded his initial base layout. I managed to make a full circle around the initial resources. He's expanding to other areas of the map, which I don't really care about. The next step would be to try to go up to the next stage, which is why I've gone for the market. Defensive towers in my farm and gold area, just to restrict his movement and stop him from denying resources. Yeah, like he has to abandon his initial base. He deletes his town center, makes the town center next to my TC, which is not advisable because a Teuton town center can garrison 15 villages compared to the 10 villages that other town centers have. So I'm just gonna garrison the 15 out of 25, and I'll have extra projectiles shooting. So we are gonna end up winning the tower, even the town center war. Slowly trying to go up to the castle edge myself. And that's gonna be basically be the end of the game, where after he loses the town center, he does not have any win conditions left. And my win condition to go up is just click to Castle Age and win the game. Double tower was perfect, and I agree. That's the whole secret for doing the build order. And I'll load up one more game just to showcase the build and the situation. Different serve, but the concepts that I have taught during the build order remains the same. Okay, we have the game. And in this one, I'm actually playing Georgians compared to Cosmonauts Bengalis. Bengali is the serve that likes to go for fast castle Ratha, maybe archers, maybe scouts. You can see them going for mana terms, but it's a little bit rare. So I was not sure what he was trying to do. Me and Cosmonaut play quite a lot of games, so I thought he was going to fast castle on me. So I ended up making a decision of tower rushing him. I push the deers, go for the mill. The build order for Georgians is a little bit different because you can go up really quickly to the next stage. I went up on 17 population instead of your traditional 18 population. So that's why we are gonna send 5 villages forward. I found out where his berries are, and I know where his wood line is. He's going for the second lumber camp as well at the same time. I like making a house before I make the tower. I'm gonna position one of these villages to the other side so that I can deny 2 resources at the same time. That's always gonna be the same concept I work with. I always wanna just deny 2 resources at the same time. I have 3 villages collecting stone in the back, 4 on wood, 4 on food. And now we make a second tower. And while this tower is also going up, I'm also going to send a villager to sneak it to the backside to make a tower on that other wood line so that I can deny all 3 of his resources that he's collecting in Dark Age. Managed to sneak the villager. He does not know about this tower just yet. He's going for a defensive archery range. I'll work with what I have on vision. So this is what I can see. I send these 3 villages back because I know that if I want to just keep denying resources, he has archery range on the field and I expect him to be playing archers right now. So I do mispredict what he's actually doing. I thought he was going to play archers, but he ended up not doing that. So my other tower could have already been up on this wood line to deny that wood line, but I was not sure what he was doing, so I made an archery range myself. You can make the barracks and the archery range a little bit later on compared to your enemy because you have map control. So I managed to deny 3 of his resources. This villager over there will go idle, so I just made a mule cart over there for him so that it can continue collecting some resources. It's not cheap, but it's not that expensive, and keeping the villager idle forever is not as good as just collecting from the mule cart. I'm also going to sneak another archery range on that side, and now I see skirmisher and spearman from him, which kinda surprised me. I'm gonna start collecting gold myself so that I can make archers from this archery range. He's gonna try to send the villagers to try to kill the villager on this side. I wall it out, and the initial setup for the tower rush always remains the same. I ran into 2 jaguars. That's actually pretty unlucky. Yeah, I mean, you can slow down your progress. You don't have to always continue tower rushing the entire time. You just want a good position with your initial tower rush, and then you can mix in the other units when you need it. So this is more of a showcase of what to do in a 1v1 when your opponent is like a little bit more proactive with his army. I get town watch, I make another tower, force him into a tower war, and I continue denying more resources. I'm also creeping with my tower on this side of the map. Maybe I could have made another tower on this side to deny the gold. And he's up to the castle age. But since I have some archers and another tower on this side, he is forced to delete that castle. I'm gonna continue making more towers. I want to make a tower on that gold mine, but he had villagers rushing me. We just going to try to micro. Ratha does not have as much pierce armor as it used to, so we managed to kill it. And while I'm going up to the next stage, I make another tower, force him to send a lot of villagers to try to deny the tower, but I wall it in. He's going to try to deny the tower on that side at the same time. So I've completely surrounded him, and I'm up to the next stage, and he resigns. I'm gonna get Bodkin. I'm gonna make a university to get guard tower. Also getting the crossbow upgrade for my archers, and it should be a very bad time for him. I can play elite skirmishes as well. I have 300 stone in the bank. I also have a market, so I can balance the resources. All of his resources are denied. Denying wood lines was the priority I was going for, and I managed to deny all of these resources. But coming back to my original topic, tower rush is back. If you find an opportunity to do it, you can completely catch people off guard, and I'll showcase it doing in a team game as well. I don't have a recording for that, but I will keep in mind to do it whenever I get the opportunity to do it, and showcase it in a separate video. I'll link it, or I'll have it in one of my future uploads. But yeah, enjoy the build order and try to do and see how it goes for you as well. See ya, guys.